first visit here on the show. But we are so happy our brother is joining us. You at practice, Marcus, or you on your way to practice?
I'm on CP time, so I'm on my
Okay.
way.
That means Marcus is at the house still looking for his shoes. he ain't there yet. He ain't there yet. Well, we're thrilled that you're here with us, man. Marcus Thompson of The Athletic. Of course, he's written some books on the Golden State Warriors, specifically on Steph Curry. Your unbiased opinion, Marcus. You've seen both of these teams up close and personal. What do you think about this first round matchup?
Man, it's lit. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
This is exciting. This is what I wanted. I feel like basketball has granted me a wish. I'm just really looking forward to that environment. You know what I'm saying? Like all our NorCal connections, all the storylines. To me, this is so much better than going to Memphis for the first round. Looking at this selfishly, like, this is great. We get to talk head to all our cousins in Sacramento, just trade banter and plus, the Kings are just a fun, exciting team. I've watched them all year. I think it's going to be an electric series.
Marcus, what do you attribute like the Warriors? I don't want to just put it just on the road struggles, but they were kind of up and down all year. I know Steph was out. Obviously Wiggins was out as well. They finished pretty strong, but is it just as simple as that? Like they just needed Steph to get back so they could play well, or they just needed to know what Wiggins was coming back? Like they were up and down all year. What do you kind of attribute that to? Is it just the injuries?
No, I don't think it's just the injuries. I think it's a collection of things that kind of, concocted to make them a terrible road team. I do think part of it is they haven't been able to get their whole team together for a significant stretch. But let's not sugarcoat it. Like a lot of them losses had their best players on the court, right?
Mm-hmm.
They lost in Orlando and Charlotte. They were losing to these, not good teams with their best players on the court. I think it began early with the whole drama around the punch, and they were just discombobulated. They weren't together, which you got to be on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And it started that road losing streak. I think they lost their first 8. And then it kind of snowballed from there. You take away that, they're actually solid. They're an average team on the road. They lose some games you don't expect them to lose, but a lot of good teams aren't great on the road. I also think they're the defending champs, and it is amazing how hot people get against them. It's like, people just don't miss. The Warriors are in town. They got bays in the crowd. They got baddies all over the place. They like, this
That's
is my
Jordan
night.
Poole
Let's
time.
show them.
That's Jordan Poole
They
time.
get a lot of that. And I also think the Warriors played a lot of the season like, we're the champs. Like, eventually you will fold, right? Eventually we will turn it up and we will blow you away. We're going to huff and puff and blow your house down.
Mm-hmm.
And every time they try to do that, they weren't blowing people away.
Yeah.
So I do think they just weren't that serious, right? They just weren't locked in the way they need to be because they've been to 6 finals in 8 years. And something about regular season basketball don't really get them to where they need to be.
Well, it's hard to get up for them sorry MFers. Draymond Green told us that a while ago.
Right.
You brought up the punch. Has that thing been overblown or has that legitimately weighed on them this season?
I don't think it was overblown. I think whoever leaked the video did exactly what they probably wanted it to do, was turn it into a big deal. Once that video leaked, I do think it became a big deal. I don't think it's followed them the whole season, but I think it was a reason they didn't play well for a stretch, and they don't have that, or they didn't have that camaraderie. I think they've kind of fought to get it back, and they've kind of clawed their way to get to a point where it's like, all right, that's the thing of the past, but they had to get there first.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part, we just don't know. What happens if that punch doesn't happen? They come into the season harmonious, fresh off their championship, and now they don't start, it ain't on the road. But maybe they start 4-4, and they get a good start to the season because they were really good at home.
Mm-hmm.
And now maybe everything is different. So we don't know what was lost in that. I do think they rebounded, and they got through it. They got over it. Like Draymond's, for a while he was quiet. He wasn't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? He was sleeping on the couch. You know, like, you know, he was in trouble, and you know, now he's back, right? You know what I'm saying? He back to being Draymond, and I think that's a sign that they've gotten through it, and now they get another test.
But I think it's easy for Draymond to get over it, isn't it? Wouldn't it be harder for Jordan Poole to get over it?
I don't think so.
Really?
Nah, they were mad at him. They were hot at him. Like, no, I mean, have you heard them talking about he got to win our trust back?
Well,
and,
I heard that.
Like, yeah. So I think there were people in the locker room who were really disappointed in him, and they were really disappointed that he did that to Jordan Poole into their season. And I think it bothers Draymond when people he respects are down on him, right? So I don't think it was easy at all. I mean, he may have caused the problem, but I don't think that absolved him from any hurt or harm, because I do think it was tough for him. Everybody, I mean, think about this. He had just won a championship, the fourth one, solidified the dynasty, and he had most of the fan base talk about it's time for him to go. Like, think about that. Like, this is his home, right? He built this. And people want him out. Like, that stuff hurts. I don't care how tough you are. Like, it hurts when people don't rock with you no more. And I think he had to remind people who he was, and that he wasn't only that guy, that he does make mistakes, but there's a reason everybody loved him. And he had to, like, win people back. And I think he did, but he had to do it, and that was a difficulty all its own.
So you think you think everything's good now, huh? Like within the team, not I ain't really talking about the fan base or anything, but just within the team, they've moved past it. They're good, you know, and they're focused on this playoff run 100%.
Oh yeah, no question. They're through it. You know, we've been trying to, you know, see if they weren't. You know, us as the media, you know what I'm saying? We press a few buttons. You try to see what happens. They're in a good place. Jordan and Draymond are still next to each other in the locker room. Like, their interactions, they look and feel like the team that we remember. Like, it's been a while. Even in the locker room, like, the joke in his back, you know, it was icy for a moment, you know, but you know, you could tell when there's beef in the air. Like, you could just, you know, you can smell it, and it's like, yo, I need to get up out of here. Something's about to go down. That feeling is gone. It feels like, you know what I'm saying? It feels like a normal. It feels like the Warriors. I feel like, and I think that's a pretty big feat to pull that off, you know, while the playoffs are about to start. And I think a big thing that helped was getting Wiggins back. I think that really did something to the energy and the spirit, because I do think he's a significant piece of that locker room.
There's been a lot of talk about this potentially being the end for this version of the Golden State Warriors. You think there's any validity to that? Is this it? Is this the I know they didn't use this term, and I actually think they were asked about it. Is this the last dance?
I think it could be. I think because of the financial realities that may have gotten even worse with the CBA, like, some decisions are going to have to be made, and I think they need to play well enough to make the owner eat that money. If they get cooked in this first round, I think that's it. Like, I feel like, you know, like, hey, I mean, they're paying $360, and then the number goes up to like $450.
Yeah.
You know, like, they're already paying the highest of all time, and then you add about another $100 million to it. It's like, hey, he's gonna be like, why am I doing that for a team that gets bounced in the first round to a franchise? Not only just they lost in the first round, they lost to a first time a playoff new booty in the first round, and then they lost to the former minority owner of the Warriors, and the rivalry that goes and all that. Can you imagine Joe Lacob losing to Vivek? Oh yeah, he might be spamming the button to blow that thing up.
Man, Kings of the new booty, Lord.
I mean, they are, like, come on, like, the Warriors were the new booty in you know, 07. Like, I remember that. I was there. Like, that's why I'm so excited about what's going to go down in Sacramento, because I was there for We Believe, and they hadn't been to the playoffs in 13 years, and it was one of the most lit things the Bay has seen in sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is.
The Warriors were the new booty in 7, and they were the new booty in 13.
In 13,
and they won a series both times, and that's what's going on with these Kings. Marcus, do you think? How do you see this series? Do you look at this as, man, I just don't see any way that the Kings get this one done? I should say how the Warriors could lose this series? Or do you look at it as, man, I don't know. I think people are overlooking what the Kings can bring to the table. How do you see it?
I do see a way the Kings can win the series. I just think it's incredibly hard, and they will have to do something that very few teams have done. And I think the interesting part of this series is we literally don't know. We have zero track record of the Kings in this situation, right? Like if this was Minnesota, and you'd be like, yo, they could win if they did this, but we've seen y'all in April, right? we know what y'all not about that life when it comes to the playoff time, right? The Kings could very well be about that life, but we don't know. Like I watched this in 2013 with the Warriors, right? They came in as the 6th seed, they cooked, and then they took on the Spurs, and it was like, yo, they walked out of that series like, hey, we got something here. I feel like win or lose, the Kings could walk away saying that. If they play well against a team, I mean, keep in mind, this is the same team that went into Boston and won a championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go against this team and you walk out of here with the Warriors feeling like, hey, they almost got us. Like, that's a pretty big statement. I feel like, and I bet you Mike Brown knows this too, because this is how Memphis walked away last year in Game 6. Like, hey, the Warriors survived, but you see what they were saying afterwards, y'all next. I do feel like if the Kings show well in this series, they put a lot of teams on notice. Like, Minnesota, Memphis, Denver, they supposed to be next, right? Like this is their time, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, wait a second. If this team just came out of nowhere, I mean, Steph Curry is 22-4 in playoff series he's played in. 22-4.
Wow.
Like, we're not talking about some new kid on him. We're not talking about a fluke. This dude has seen everything. Draymond, Steph, Clay has seen everything. Steve Kerr, everything. If they give the Warriors problems in this, you telling me they're gonna be scared of Denver? You telling me they're gonna be scared? No, like, this is elite playoff basketball right here. They got a first round series against an elite, not talking about elite this season. I'm talking about when we start talking about basketball in 20 years, we will be talking about these dudes. To me, if the Kings show up in this series like we think they might show up, even if they lose, they're going to walk away like the Warriors did when they lost to the Spurs in 2013. Spurs went on to win the title, but everybody walked away like, uh-oh, here they come. And what happened 2 years later? They won the title. I feel like that's how good the Kings are. And they might need to make some tweaks or something here. I think they're good enough as a team, as a unit offensively to be a problem. My question is, will all that offense fly in the playoffs? With all that, that democracy they have on offense, the moving the ball, the making the shot, like you asking Keegan Murray and Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter, right, and Terrence Davis, you asking all those guys to make shots in the playoffs. We just haven't seen it. And I've watched the Warriors struggle with this, where it's like, remember they lost 2016 finals because Harrison Barnes went 5 for 32, right? It's like, hey, when you start playing this move the ball offense, you put the ball in the hands of a lot of people. You trust them they're going to make it, whereas that's why a lot of other teams are like, nope, we're going to give the ball to our stars, right? We're not messing with you. So that's the question to me. If it needs to become Sabonis, Fox, you just got to carry us, right? You just got to I need you to get 40. I need you to do it against the best defense you done played all year. I need you to do it in a must-win situation with playoffs on the line. We haven't seen that. But if they look good doing it, like if you walk away from the series like, yo, they was right there, bruh, don't talk to me about these Kings about to be ready. I'm telling you, Ja Morant watching this series like, hold on. Hold on. You know who this is like? Remember when the Warriors came up? Who was supposed to be the next team? Who was supposed to be like waiting like it's our time now? It was Oklahoma City and it was the Clippers, right? And then the Warriors came out of nowhere and took their chips. Like all I'm saying is, if I walk away from this series feeling like, hey, they gave the Warriors some problems. Win or lose, if they win, they're there for sure, right? If they win, it's notice. Like everybody will notice. But I'm saying if they lose this in 6 and it's a dogfight, I'm about to start calling the Kings a contender in the West. I'm saying like they might be 1 or 2 moves away. Like, I'm not playing with y'all. Mike Brown not playing with y'all, bro. Like, he know how to win. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
About to snatch Dylan Brooks' flat iron from him. And just Kings is next, not the Grizzlies. Hey, Marcus.
I'm just saying, like, who you like better? Who you like better? I'm just saying.
I can't stand the Grizzlies. I think I'm aligned with Dub Nation in that sense. I can't stand the Memphis Grizzlies.
I'm not a Grizzlies guy.
You famously worked Steph's real name into a press conference. You think you can work New Booty into the media availability today?
I don't know, man. You know how sometimes you get to talk around your people a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm talking.
Mark is gonna be out there. Yeah, Kings are the new kids on the block out here, and
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna have to make it for the masses. What I do.
I got you. Understood. If you get along with Marcus Spears or something, maybe try to work the phrase into a question. Marcus, man, we appreciate you so much, man. Thanks for joining us, brother.
All right, have a good one, fellas.
Take care,
Next time, let's not wait 5 years.
I know,
yeah,
man.
bro. Hey,
I know.
Look, I'm talking to you.
Look, MT2, man. Let's do it next week, man. Look, when you're not at Mastro's, give us 5 minutes and we can talk.
Man, that's a tough ask. You know what I'm saying? Your Mastro's my spot, but I got you.
Let's let you coming up, right? We get you out to Echo and Rig. You coming up, right, for these games?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. All right. We'll get Marcus to Echo and Rig. We'll do that. Book it. It's a done deal.
For sure. Let's get it.
All right. Appreciate you, Marcus. Thank you, brother.